Hey, what's up guys? I'm Tasha. Happy Saturday. Today I'm going to show you how to make a fringe shirt completely from scratch. The very first thing I did was I made a pattern using an old long sleeve shirt. I made a front and a back piece because I wanted the back piece to dip down lower on the neckline than the front, and I also made a sleeve piece. If you want me to go into detail on how I make my patterns, just let me know in a comment below and I can make a separate video on that. Once that was done, I pinned it to my two-way stretch knit fabric, and if you're using two-way stretch knit, make sure that the stretch of the fabric is going across your garment, across the width, and not up and down on the length, and just cut your pieces out. And once you have all 4 pieces cut out, we are ready to sew our shirts together. I pinned the 2 body pieces together, right sides touching. I used a zigzag stitch. My sewing machine is on a tension of 3, and I also changed my needle to a ballpoint needle so that it won't tear my knit fabric, and I stitched up both sides of the body. And you might think that my sewing machine foot looks a little different in this. That's because I am actually using a even feed foot or a walking foot. It basically makes sure that slippery fabric or knit fabric goes through evenly and doesn't get eaten up by the sewing machine, which happens a lot when you use knit fabric. Then I stitched up the top of both shoulders, again using a zigzag stitch, and once I'm done with this, I'm going to put my body aside and work on my sleeves. Laying my sleeve piece right side up, I'm placing a piece of fringe on top of it. I'm starting my fringe about a ½ inch from the armpit and stopping it about 1 inch from the wrist because I'm going to hem the bottom of the sleeve later on. You want to just tuck that in like a pig in a blanket and make sure it's all nice and folded up. Pin it with your ballpoint pins and get ready to sew it. As you're sewing this, you want to make sure that you take your time. It's not a competition, but you just don't want your fringe to slip out of place, and that's why this even feed foot really helps with that, so you can make sure you're getting an accurate stitch on your fringe sleeve. At this point, I also changed my needle to a universal needle because I didn't want the fringe to break my ballpoint needle. I hemmed the bottom of the sleeves, the neckline, and the bottom of the shirt using a straight stitch, and I actually used a clear nylon thread for these pieces because I was actually running out of gray thread. And I also kind of pulled them a little bit as I sewed them so that they would have the ability to stretch once I put them on. So now what I'm doing is I'm flipping my sleeves right side out because I'm getting ready to attach the entire shirt together. So with the body of the shirt wrong side out and the sleeves right side out, you're going to insert the sleeve into the armhole of the shirt. And you want to make sure that all of the seams match up. So the seam on the bottom of the sleeve needs to match with the side seam of the shirt. And after you have, I would suggest pinning that first. And after you have that pinned, you can make sure that you pin it all evenly around the entire armhole. And then you can just take it to your sewing machine and stitch it up like we sew everything else. It all looks the same, just sewing it up, and I'm using a zigzag stitch. Okay, very last step. Turn your shirt right side out and cut off the bottom band of the fringe. Some fringe comes with like just a basting stitch that you just pull off, but my fringe has a hem or a band at the bottom, so I had to cut it off, and I wanted to maintain as much length as possible. This shirt is perfect for any nighttime festival or concert when it gets a little bit cooler but it's not extremely cold, or just any summer night out, and you can also rock this in the fall and winter. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and share it with all your friends. If you haven't seen my previous DIY, make sure you check it out. I show you how to make a pair of shorts out of an old scarf. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. They are both at tashalala. All my links to wherever you can find me on the web will be down below. I will see you guys next week with a new DIY, and I love you guys so much. Bye.